are really, really tricky, and funding isn't as easily accessible now as it is certainly when I started my project. There are some key principles that you have to know when you are doing a funding application. I think I was best positioned because I'd done a lot of that as an employee, so I knew the etiquette, I knew the passwords, I knew the buzzwords, and I worked very closely with a lot of the actual funders themselves, so we had funders notes, application notes, but I'd be more than happy to have a chat with you, as I said, behind the scenes, out of this environment. But when it comes to funding, you have to be able to 100% prove that there is a need for your project. Because if you can't prove there's a need for your project, you know there's a need, but you need evidence to support that. Every funder, whether it be a trust or a commercial funding, or somebody like the Big Lottery, they will have very clear specifics on how they want to give out their money, and they are very clear on what constitutes certain funding pots. You have to make sure that you tick those. So even though you know your product, you know that there's a need for it, you know that the beneficiaries will bite your hand off to take it if you can provide that, you have to transpose all of that information, the evidence, case studies, onto a bit of paper that goes before a panel like this, and then we'll get shortlisted again to say, yes, this is a project that we want to fund. There are lots of agencies around Milton Keynes that are able to support you with funding applications, and funding advice workers that will be able to sit down with you and go through those applications, and more often than not they're associated to the funder themselves in some capacity, so they'll be able to really guide you through that. But I love a good funding application. I adore it. I used to hate it, but when I was an employee, seeking funding for community projects was a big part of that job, and governance was a big part of that job, and I can understand why it's daunting. But if you are able to 100% inside out, upside down, back to front, prove there is a need for what you're doing, you are more eligible against the people who just say, I'd like to do this, and if you give me the money, I'll make sure it works. Yeah? So I'm more than happy to have a chat and even maybe signpost you to some of those agencies, but there is a knack to it, and yeah, we can have a chat about that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bianca. I hope that answers your question. Any